What's up, guys? So I am here joined by a very special guest today. She is best known in the gaming community as the face model of Samara and Morinth in Mass Effect 2 and 3. This is Rana McAnear. Thank you so much for being here.
Well, thanks for having me.
Oh yeah, no problem. So besides the face modeling in Mass Effect, I've read that you are also an actress and a model. Is that right?
Yeah, I do some acting, some modeling. Right now, I'm actually focusing on wardrobe styling for film and TV.
Oh wow, that's cool.
Yeah, I kind of stuck with the entertainment industry, but another aspect of it. So
Yeah. Did you make the wardrobe for Samara?
I did not. I actually was. I hadn't gone to school yet, or I think I had just started, so I didn't know how to do any of that. Claire Townsend made that, and she's a clothing designer here in LA. So.
Oh, okay. So the person that did the headpiece was somebody else?
Yeah, that was the Mad Masker. She's
okay.
also here in LA as well. She, Aubriana Zerilgan. Her last name always gets me.
That's an amazing cosplay, by the way. That's by far one of the best I've ever seen. I mean, because you pretty much are Samara.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I think it turned out amazing. I mean, I've been really fortunate to be able to constantly improve on it as well. So I've had another person help me out now as WM Armory, Will Morgan, and he made me a new neck piece, which was really cool, and he's hopefully going to make me new armor as well.
Nice.
And then I'd love to get a new suit eventually, because the suit is, I mean, it's almost 3 years old now, first of all.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I guess, well, we made it, it was almost 3 years ago at San Diego Comic-Con. Is when we debuted the costume. And, it's neoprene, so it's like wetsuit material. So it's not very comfortable, and it's not very breathable. And when I sweat in it, the sweat stays in there, so it gets really cold when, when I'm like air conditioning stuff. So it's really uncomfortable, and it's just not something that we factored in when, when making it. So now I know better. And then Taylor Bennett is going to be making the Morinth costume.
Nice.
So she's a cosplayer herself, so she knows fabric really well, and she knows, the best one for the outfit. So she just got that, and hopefully she's cutting out the patterns as we speak.
Awesome. So you're going to Comic-Con this year?
Yeah, Morinth. I'm gonna do both Samara and Morinth. I'll probably do.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I'll probably do Samara on Friday, I think, and Morinth on Saturday. I haven't completely decided yet, but
Nice.
just because, I mean, I would love to do both in the same day, but it takes 3 hours to get on, and about an hour to get off, and Samara and Morinth, they're different coloring, so I would have to basically reset and start all over again.
Right.
So yeah, I'm excited for it.
Yeah, that's gonna be so cool. I can't wait to see you as Morinth.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to it, and I've been excited about it too, because I feel like it's a little more fun of cosplay, because I feel like, Samara, as amazing character as she is, she's very sort of regal and stern, and
very
sort
stoic.
And sort of the opposite of me. So I definitely have had lots of fun being not Samara in pictures, and being like silly and goofy, but I think cosplaying Morinth will be really fun, because she's such a sort of snaky character, and so that's going to be cool. And
Nice.
then hopefully we'll take, Samara or Morinth, the costume, will go with me to, Dragon Con and WonderCon and PAX East.
Nice.
I'm not sure where else yet, but those are the 3 main ones so far. So yeah, should be make the con circuit with Morinth as well.
Yeah. Oh man, I can't wait for that.
Yeah.
So, have you ever done any other work on video games besides Mass Effect?
I have not. I would love to.
Nice.
But yeah, when I was working, or after I did the 3D scan with BioWare, when they were auditioning the voice actors for the game, they asked me if I could read with the actors. But unfortunately, because I wasn't AFTRA at the time, which is the video game, like it's like SAG, but SAG and AFTRA merged, and like the actors union. So basically, I wasn't AFTRA at the time, and so I couldn't do anything. But he was one of the guys over at BioWare was trying to hook me up with that, but it hasn't happened. But I do have a lot of friends who are in the gaming world who have sort of mentioned, hey, next time I have a project. So I'm hoping that pans out.
Nice. That would be cool.
Yeah.
Do you play games?
I do, yeah.
Cool.
My mom actually bought me an Xbox when, after Mass Effect 2 came out, and I was like, Mom, I need to play this game so that I know what I'm talking about.
You're like, it's for work.
Yeah, exactly. It's research, Mom. So, but yeah, I have played Mass Effect, and I have Mass Effect 3, and I need to play it. I know I'm behind, but I did, like, growing up, we had an Atari, and we had a Nintendo, and I can't remember if we had a Sega, but I know, at neighbors' houses and stuff, and would play that. And then I house sat one time for someone that had an Xbox, and they had BioShock and Gears of War, like the first BioShock. And I just loved that and played that, until the wee hours of the morning.
Yeah, it's a good game.
Yeah, it was really great. Definitely scary. Like,
yeah.
Spooked afterwards. But
yeah, it's a pretty crazy storyline.
Yeah, for sure. So yeah, I definitely game. I feel like, right now I'm sort of, I guess you could say, in between jobs. Like, I have a job coming up, but it hasn't really started yet, and so I kind of feel guilty for trying to play games. When I'm like, okay, well, I can't play video games because I'm supposed to be looking for work. So. But yeah.
Oh, how did you get the role as Samara and Morinth's face model? Did BioWare contact you? Did you go for the audition, or?
So there's a modeling website called Model Mayhem that I had been on for a while, and they have a casting section, and I just happened to see the post, and BioWare had put up a post needing someone with strong features. So I submitted just my portfolio, and then they asked for basically Polaroid shots were essentially just me with no makeup on. And then they picked me. I mean, it was about like a 2-week waiting game, maybe longer. I can't even remember. It was so long. And then about, 9 months later, Samara was born. So,
wow.
Yeah, it was pretty amazing.
Did you know you were going to be playing an alien?
No, I had no. Well, no, I take that back. I knew when I went in to get the 3D scan. They had given me. Oh no, actually, they didn't tell me it was an alien. They gave me like a breakdown of Samara, and it was really funny too because when I went in, the description that they had, they wanted. I don't know where, somewhere down the line they ended up changing it, but they wanted someone who, like a woman who's in her 50s or something.
Oh, wow.
It was so weird that I was looking at that and I was kind of going, wow, guys, do you really think I look 50?
You're like, gee, thanks.
But, which is interesting because the voice actress, Maggie Baird, is, in her 50s. So it's funny that it's, my face, but her voice. So. Yeah. Then, they just kind of gave me a description, and they said she's like I think it was something about like a high priestess or something, and I think they were just kind of playing with the idea and the storyline at that time, so they didn't have a full description. But then I was in contact with a guy that worked there at BioWare, and he sent me a little clue, you know, early on, and he said, you know, I said, do you know what I look like? You know, and what they're doing and this and that. And he's like, well, you're this race. And he sent me a picture of, I think it was, you know what, it must have been Liara from like the Dark Horse comics, you know, the comic book. And it was like just a picture of her. And she's like, this is your, you know, these are your people, basically. I'm like, wow, I'm going to be blue. How cool. And then the day that, you know, her introduction came out, he sent me the link to the video, and it was just, you know, unreal. I think I watched it like, you know, 10 times.
Oh my God.
Just
so
unbelievable.
You saw yourself as Samara once she was completely finished.
Oh yeah. Absolutely.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I had no idea what she was going to look like until that very moment when, you know, when he sent me that video and they're introducing Samara, you know. So it was pretty amazing, and you know, I guess the rest is history, right?
Yeah. Let me just say that Samara by far is my favorite looking Asari. You just bring such like this mystical side to her. She just looks so different, and I just love her look.
Thank you. Yeah, I've heard that a lot, and I'm not sure. I feel like I want to talk to the programmers or, you know, the character designers and just kind of ask, like, what was it that I feel like they spent more time on me or something, like.
Yeah, she's
like
so detailed.
Yeah, my scan is just unbelievable. And I mean, you know, one of the coolest things I love is that they used my freckles. And
I know, I love that about Samara.
Yeah, and they just were like, wow, your face is perfect. We're going to use everything from it, you know? And I did notice they did do, like, I think they widened my iris a little bit in the game, so my eyes actually aren't that big. But my eye color is the same. They use my eye color, and they also lengthened the neck as well. Which was really hard when we were making the neckband for my costume, because we were trying to get it to scale, and it just ended up looking like a weird neck brace, and then we were like, those bastards, they lengthened her neck. But anyways, and so yeah, I mean, it is kind of amazing how just dead on they got it, and I think, yeah, I don't know, maybe I'm partial, but I think she looks really unique, you know?
She does.
I'm a little biased.
No, she does. She looks awesome. But and then paired up with that very stoic voice and personality, it just fits so well.
Yeah, it was interesting too when I was doing the scan. Casey Hudson, the executive producer, he was there, and he, was kind of giving me direction on what he wanted, and he said, that typically they want like just completely no expression, but he was very specific in saying, we want a very stern look, and that's, I guess I did it right. But I guess I just have that face. I actually last night I just worked on a music video. It's like a death metal music video where I play like an android. And,
cool.
Again, I kind of had to have that very like stern, serious face, and it's so funny to me because it's just so not me, I am just not that at all. And so when I'm in these pictures and I put on what I call my Samara face, I get so bored with it too, I'm like, oh, can't I do something silly? And for a long time too, people would ask me to smile, and I'd go, no.
Yeah, that would be weird. That would look weird. I'd be like, whoa.
Yeah. So I mean, it's funny too because when I do post smiling pictures of me in costume, people just love it. Like, they love the out of character Samara pictures. So it's funny, but I try to stay in character as much as possible. Like, as far as in pictures, but I'm still me when I go out and about.
Right. So how do they get your face onto the character? What do they have to do?
So they did a 3D scan. So basically, I was sitting in a chair that had like a tennis ball kind of rigging on the back where they just like where I could kind of rest my head. And the chair rotated, and they just had this machine that is, I mean, it's kind of your like, straight from the movies, that green line that just sort of scanned like all the way around my head. Like I wore a wig cap, and it just scanned like all the way around my head. And then they actually ended up taking other pictures of me, with the wig cap off and just doing certain things like smiling and like they wanted me to like raise one eyebrow and just to get an idea of range of motion in my face.
Yeah.
But then as far as putting me into the game, I think like that's sort of beyond my knowledge. I don't really know too much about it, but from my understanding, it's just sort of like 3D modeling where they just kind of take my face and then they change add everything else in a program or something. I don't really know. I should know. But,
so did you have to do anything different for Morinth, or did they just use what they had taken for Samara?
They just used the same the same scan. And then same for like the third one as well. Like they didn't need me again. Like now they have my face forever.
Oh, that's what I was going to ask. If you had to go back in for Mass Effect 3.
No. Nope. They have it and it's there. I mean, it was like a half-hour process and it was really easy. Oh, but I was going to say that Morinth, I noticed as well. Her, like, I think they widened her mouth a little bit to make her look a little bit different. And then what I like about Morinth too is that because she doesn't have those biotic crown things that Samara does, there's a freckle like right above my eyebrow that they use. Like it's so, and it was funny because I didn't know that I was going to be two characters.
Wow.
Yeah, and I was looking through the strategy guidebook or whatever.
Yeah.
They had, the artwork, and then, I see Samara, oh, there's me, how cool. And then I flip the page, and there's Morinth, and I was like, hey, wait a minute, and I look, and I was like, there's my freckle, like, hey, and it just didn't even, like, dawn on me, that...
Oh my god, so that's how you found out about Morinth.
Yeah,
that's so funny.
So I thought that was really funny that they use me twice, but it cracked me up too when people ask like, who do you like better? I'm like, well, it's both me, so I don't know, both.
What about when it comes to personality wise? I guess you said that you connect a little bit more with Morinth. She's more...
Yeah, I mean, she's just a little more like playful, I guess, and a little more mischievous, and that's like, I definitely am not a succubus, but like, I mean, I can have a tendency sometimes to be stern and like I babysit a lot, and I'm very maybe Samara like when I babysit, like, but then I can also be playful and whatever else like
so
for it. So
both.
Yeah. I mean, I can definitely see myself in both characters. So
it's already been confirmed that BioWare is working on a Mass Effect movie. Is there any indication, any hints that maybe they would like you to maybe play a role in the film as an Asari?
No, they haven't mentioned it at all, and I don't really know if that's at all going to happen. I mean, I feel like in something like that, especially the caliber that it is, they'll probably want names, and so unfortunately I probably won't be a part of that process, but I'm excited, to see it. It should be really cool. I mean, I think the Mass Effect series is a really cool series, and it's funny because I've seen people post about who should play Samara, and I'm flattered, honestly. Very like, wow, cool. They think I look like her, like Olivia Wilde, or I can't remember who else they they, suggested, but fans have all said, oh, I think so and so should play Samara, or I think so and so. I mean, I'd love to do it, but like I said, I just don't see that happening.
Oh, yeah, that would be really, really cool if they did come to you with that, because
Yeah.
I mean, especially with like we were talking about, that unique look that Morinth and Samara have. I think it'd be really hard to do that unless they did like CGs, like
Right.
CG aliens.
And they just used my face again.
Yeah, again.
Yeah, I mean, it's possible. I mean, one thing that I sort of had in mind when I started, when I got the costume together and everything, was, hoping that BioWare would maybe, take me along for the ride as well and be like, wow, you brought this character to life, and why don't you come to these conventions with us or whatever. But unfortunately that hasn't really happened. It's every convention I've been to has been purely fan driven, and that's been really fun. And I mean, BioWare hasn't been friendly, and they've definitely like gotten me, they got me a ticket into PAX East and stuff, but as far as like working with them directly, I haven't. Everything has just been fan fun. So,
Yeah. Well, you're very much appreciated in the Mass Effect fan world.
Oh, good. I'm glad. I do enjoy it. I mean, it's a lot of fun, and I get a big kick out of, going to these cons and sort of like having people fan out on me. Freak out and, oh, you make a really good Samara. I have a tendency not to tell people recently that I'm actually Samara, but my friends love to do it. So they'll be standing next to me and they'll say, she's actually Samara, and they just kind of like, it doesn't process, like they can't comprehend it, and it's really fun to watch, and I definitely have felt like a really great response from it, and I feed off that. It's definitely the reason I keep doing it is fans and just the love of it all, and it's really exciting. It's really fun.
I was wondering, with Samara's Justicar code, what do you think about that? Do you think that you would be able to live strictly by a code in order to be just in your actions, like without bias or prejudice? Like, in other words, do you think you'd make a good Justicar?
Good question. No, I don't know. Probably not. I'm really bad. Like, I have really bad self-discipline, and no, I mean, no.
You're like, no.
It's bad. No, I mean, like, I couldn't do it. I don't know how people do it.
It's difficult. I mean, because of her code, she was driven pretty much to kill her daughter.
Yeah, I know.
That's pretty hard. Yeah.
Right. And almost kill herself, like, well,
I
that
know.
was more for sadness, but still, it's pretty intense, like, her code and everything, and I love that whole speech she gives too, is just amazing, where she's like, by the code, like, it's great, and I think it's just really powerful, and I feel like that's one reason that people really love her, is just her strong ethics and, code and morals and all of that, and it is funny how people are just like, but I wish you could romance her. I know. And people just ate up the photo shoot I did with Mark Meir.
Oh my god, yeah.
Because, people wanted that so much to happen.
Yeah.
And,
it was a fan's dream come true.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, that was the biggest reason that I did it, was just, I like to call it my brainchild. Like, great, all these people wanted to make it, wanted to happen. Let's make it happen. So, I am looking forward to when I get Morinth together at Dragon Con. Mark Meir agreed to do another shoot with me.
Oh, that's gonna
as
be
Morinth.
So good. Oh my god!
You can only imagine that photo shoot.
I need one of those. That's gonna be so good.
Yeah, so, and Mark Mir is such a good sport, and he's just so fun, and like we just had a blast when we did that shoot, and you can't really tell in the pictures, but we were, we every chance we got, we would goof off and just be totally silly. So it was amazing. He's such a cool guy, and I can't wait to hang out with him again. He's such a sweetheart.
Yeah. Is there any advice you would give anybody that is interested in cosplaying as a character?
Yeah, I mean, I think one of the biggest things I hear a lot of people say is just they're worried about not doing it perfect or not doing it right, and they're sort of nervous about what people are going to think or what people are going to say, and I want to just encourage people to just give it a try. And there are tons of amateur, and I use that word like very nicely, it's not an insult, but there are plenty of amateur cosplayers out there who they try and you just get better at it. It's just practice, and I think you just kind of have to jump in and do it. You just kind of have to and look at the forums, ask for advice. Don't be afraid to ask questions, and there's tons of videos on YouTube. There are tons of people who will help you and who want to help you, There's lots of people who want you to succeed. Because I feel like a lot of people get really caught up in, there's a lot of negativity out there for people who are making fun of costumes that didn't turn out the way that they see fit, but these are the same people who aren't going out and doing it themselves, and they don't realize how hard it is. So I just, I think that's one of the things that I hear a lot in the cosplay world is just people not supporting each other, and so, people are afraid to fail. But, I'm very fortunate, and I've surrounded myself with a lot of people who are very positive, and they want to help people. So anytime people have questions about anything, like WM Armory, he puts up tutorials, and David Carpenter, who made Mark Mir's armor, he puts up tutorials. Like, there's all these people
That's awesome.
Who they encourage you to make your own work, and they're not asking you to pay them, their fees or whatever. If you feel like you can make it yourself, then make it yourself, and be proud of what you can do, and practice, and don't get discouraged. That's like this thing. It's hard, but I think
it turns out to be a lot of fun in the end.
Yeah, exactly. And then you learn, and then you move on, and you do it the next year, or you improve, and it's all a learning process. And I think people need to kind of get over wanting to be perfect.
Yeah, definitely. That's some good advice. Okay, so now I have just a few questions from a few of my subscribers.
Okay.
So T.O. asks if what is your main shepherd like? The basics, like male or female, Paragon Renegade, class, that kind of thing.
So I played female, and I think, gosh, I gotta be honest, it's been so long since I played it. And I played Paragon, but I definitely had some good Renegade moments in there. So what are they? I'm like what do they call them?
Oh, a Paragade?
Paragade, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I did. Yeah. You gotta love some of the Renegade stuff.
I mean, some people, like, some of those characters, they would go on, and you get the Renegade button. Like, just shut up! And, those are great moments. But, and then I honestly can't remember the class that I played. I know, I'm such a bad gamer.
No, it's okay.
I have to play it again. What was funny, too, is that I hadn't played as a guy, and so I hadn't really heard Mark Mir's voice at all. So when I actually met Mark Mir, it was sort of this, like, I don't really recognize his voice. And then I remembered, because I played a girl. Like, no wonder. But then my friend played, I let him borrow the game, and he played as a guy, and so I heard Mark then. And I think I played, like, on the easiest,
Yeah. Yeah, that's
whatever.
totally fine.
Yeah, I just
my first playthrough I play on normal, but then after that I just easy, so you could just like go through it. The story is pretty much the biggest thing in that game, anyways.
right. Yeah, and I mean, I played the first the first run through just to get to my part. I was like, okay, what's the next next mission? All right. So, finally when I got to her, it was like, all right,
like,
then
mission accomplished.
Yeah, because I felt like I was rushing through a lot of the stuff, So I don't know, but it was still fun. It was a great game.
Okay, so Charles6835 asks, who did you romance?
I didn't romance anyone.
Oh, really?
Well, because like I said, I was just trying to get through it.
Uh-huh.
So I didn't take the time to
right.
romance anyone, which I heard helps you out in the DLC. Yeah.
You do get some special scenes.
Yes, exactly. So I'm hoping, once I get through to that, maybe I'll, because now I'm like, man, why didn't I romance anyone? But, once I play again, maybe I'll try and romance someone.
Yeah. Super elusive man. It's actually his birthday today, so this should make him pretty happy.
Oh, happy birthday.
Yeah. He asks, if your character Samara took Arya on in a fight, do you think she would win?
Oh, God. Arya is pretty badass.
Yeah, right?
I don't know. Samara's older, though, right?
Yeah, she is.
I think Samara would win because I think Samara is probably more skilled.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, probably has a little more control.
Yeah.
Yeah. Arya seems the kind that just...
She's like a live wire.
Outbursts, yeah.
Yeah.
Renee Shepard asks, a lot of people have talked about how Mass Effect has changed their lives for better or for worse. Would you say it has changed your life, and if so, how?
Yeah, I mean, I laugh because it's like, well, it's exciting that it's changed my life, I mean, it's definitely, it's been amazing. I mean, I've, gotten to travel and meet amazing people and party and all these amazing conventions, and, I mean, it's sort of like I'm, finally kind of living the dream to an extent,
Yeah.
Still living in my tiny apartment, but it's I think my final goal, I really want to be an action figure, and they have not made a Samara action figure yet, and I'm so
they
disappointed.
haven't, huh? Oh, that would be so cool. You want to be an action figure.
Yeah, but I mean, as far as changing my life, definitely for the better. It's just been incredible, and I've met some of the most amazing people through the Mass Effect community.
RL Chill asks, who would win in a fight, a Jedi Knight or an Asari Justicar?
Probably Justicar.
Yeah.
I would think so.
Yeah, I would like to think so too.
Yeah.
Especially if it's Samara.
How about a Justicar Jedi Knight?
That would be awesome. That would actually transfer really well.
Yeah, right?
Yeah. Scottish Warrior 92 asks,
Scottish Warrior?
Yeah. What role would you like to play in a Mass Effect movie other than Samara or Morinth?
Ooh, that's a hard one. I don't know. I'd want to be Femme Shep. She's that.
That would be so cool.
I mean, Jennifer Hale's so great, so cool, and she does such a great job, but it's like, I definitely want to play Femme Shep.
Yeah. Is there anything that you're working on at the moment or in the near future that you would like to let people know about?
Aside from the Morinth costume, I'm also trying to get out to MCM Expo in London, and it's at the end of May, and I haven't raised very much at all.
Oh, really?
So yeah, I'm hoping to raise a little more. I'll repost the I think pitch in link because chip in closed down, so now it's a pitch in link on my website soon.
Okay.
But yeah, I sadly it's it's kind of a given, but it's pretty expensive to get out there. It's about $1,200 for the ticket.
Ooh.
And I have to get my passport, which is $100, and it just adds up. So I'm reaching for $2,000 just for hotel and food, so I can eat one. So hopefully I'll be able to raise that.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, I'll provide. If you could just send me the links through the chat, I'll provide the links in the description. And
okay,
yeah,
perfect.
We could definitely.
Thank you so much. I
yeah, no problem. Thank you.
Yeah, great.
Okay, so again, thank you so much for doing this. This was a great pleasure.
Thank you for pronouncing my name correctly. That makes me happy. You've done your research, I can tell.
Yeah. I was like, oh God, I don't want to pronounce her name wrong.
Had you listened to another interview or something?
I did, yeah, and I was looking for one where you actually said your name, because I was like, I don't trust these people.
Well, good job. Good on you. Well, thank you for having me. And
yeah, definitely.
All right, have a good night.
Thanks, you too.
Okay,
Bye.
Bye.